Can I afford to make my world a little bigger? I believe the answer is almost always yes. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lydia here. So if you're new to this channel, I just usually share some of the things I used to change my lifestyle in the past several years by building a healthy routine, by going to the gym, and by reading more books. Occasionally I share some of the fun things happening in my life. And today is another episode of the book club series. I want to talk about this book. It's Michelle Obama's new book, The Light We Carry: Overcoming in Uncertain Times. I knew it would be good, but I didn't know that it would be this good. Like, I just finished a few days ago. I couldn't stop reading it. I've read her previous book, Becoming. That was life-changing for me. This is also life-changing for me again. I thought because she has told so many stories about herself and becoming, which is kind of like a memoir, I didn't really expect that many new stories, how wrong I was. From the look of it, it looks like a self-help book. It's gonna live 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how you should deal with different situations in life. But it's definitely more than that. It's all the tools that you need to navigate life, to pick yourself up. And it's also a book that provides warmth, light, and gladness as well. I think that's one of the reasons why I keep going back to this book. It feels like I'm always welcome, even though it's just by reading it. It's like a conversation anytime you can jump right back to and pick up with therapists, and even better. It's just soothing, calm, and nice. I don't want to review too much if you haven't read this book yet. I just want to share 3 lessons I've learned from this book. So lesson number 1 is about ourselves. Everyone is scared of something. Even Michelle Obama, as the former First Lady of the United States, she has her own insecurity. She has her own fear of not knowing what to do sometimes. And it doesn't matter who you are, you're facing the same kind of fear. The most important thing is how we deal with it, how we see it in our own world. Like Michelle Obama, we could be the one and the first feel in our own rights, but we have the choice to react differently. What I learned from this is it's okay to be cautious, and it's also important to know that when to take the leap of faith. And when we make the decisions, ask ourselves what lies on the other side of the decision. Sometimes we think too much in our heads. Sometimes I have this fear, I don't know what I'm gonna do if I make the decision, if I don't make the decision. But remember that inaction is also a choice. If you don't do anything, it's also a decision. It impacts the next step. It's a nice quote, serve as a ruler of how you view your decisions in the future. It is, can I afford to make my world a little bigger? I believe the answer is almost always yes. Let's make the decisions that will make our world a little bit bigger. And whenever you think of something, oh, I don't know whether I should take that conversation forward. I don't know whether I should reach out to that stranger in the bar that I just really want to get a number, or I don't know whether I should have that candid conversation with my boss to talk about promotion. What is the result of not doing anything, and what is the possibility that maybe you can open more doors, maybe you can open more conversations. So the second lesson I learned is about relationships. I learned that nothing is perfect. The book starts with the relationships with ourselves. It talks about our fear, our insecurity, the uncertainties. There's one story Michelle Obama shared about her friend. I think it's in the chapter Starting Kind, chapter 3. Her friend Ron, who just begins his day saying hello to himself in the mirror every single day. Even he's a grown man, he always say that, hey buddy, every morning just to greet himself. It's maybe something that we should adopt more often. I've been doing this YouTube thing for a while. I think it certainly helped me in some way because I get to see myself in the camera, and I wanted to present in such a way that I bring kindness not just to whoever who's watching it, but also to myself. It definitely helped me. So I think maybe that's something that we can all do, like just to start with this kind of greetings to ourselves, to remember that ourselves is also our friend, and we want to light up the day of ourselves the same way that we light up our friends. There's a particular chapter I really enjoyed. It's chapter 6, Partnering Well, in which she shared her story with the former president of the United States, Barack Obama. I thought it would be a totally romantic story. It is, but she also shared that how the reality is different from her expectations of their first vacation in Hawaii. She imagined Hawaii would be like all beach and the romantic walks near the beach, but instead she just got to spend the whole period of time with former President Barack Obama's grandparents in their small flats. She was just still in her 20s. She didn't really see the value of it, but now she looked back, she can see that it's actually just somebody who's showing her this guy who really is family oriented, and no matter what happened, he will be always home, and that's very important in any of the relationships. That speaks to me and how we should view our relationship. In that chapter, she also shared how she gave guidance to her daughters about their dating lives, and there's one paragraph really speaks to me. I'm rooting for my daughters to learn their way into maturity in their relationships, not worrying about bringing some clear result from it. I don't want them to see marriage as some sort of trophy that must be hunted and won, or to believe that a wedding is the sort of spectacle they need to properly launch a fulfilling life, or to ever feel that having children is any sort of requirement. My hope instead is that they will experience different levels of commitment, figuring out how to end relationships that aren't working and how to start new ones that seem promising. When and if my kids do choose someone finally to be with for life, I want them to do it from a place of strength, truly knowing who they are and what they need. That's kind of the advice I would want to have 10 years earlier. I would try to still put that in my head every single day when I navigate my life, and I hope that maybe across the screen it will be helpful for some of the young adults as well. Finally, she shared, I hope them find home, whatever that ends up looking like. That really speaks to me. I think that would become my ultimate goal of finding somebody, and no matter what kind of relationship, whether it's romantic, it's friendship, it should feel like home if it's a really good relationship, which means you can always be yourself, you can always share whatever that you want to share without being worried that you will be judged. They can always support you whenever you need to, and that's really the relationship at least I would want to fight for. The final lesson I learned is about the future. In the final several chapters, she talks about parenting, but to me it's more like how we should view the future, because all kids in all societies and every family represents the future. I don't want to spoil or learn too much. Maybe after this book review video you want to pick one book and just to read it by yourself, and it's very nice book just to have around you. I just find a lot of relief when I'm reading that chapter 7 called Meet My Mom, and so she shares some of the parenting skills that her mom shared with her and the way that she was brought up. I can sense that her mom has a very unique way of bringing up them. It's like they treat them as adults, they always encourage them to speak up, they encourage them to take on responsibilities themselves. They always shows that home is somewhere you're always welcome, you're always gonna come back here and we will like you here. That's the sense of security and support that any family should give. Keep reminding myself that everybody's family is different and not everyone might get this have an open-minded family that support your childhood growth, but then we can always educate ourselves. In the book, there's one part, it says that come home, we will always like you here. She also recognized that for many folks, home can be a more complicated, less comfortable idea. And home could well be a painful spot to which you never want to return. And that is okay. There's power in knowing where you don't want to go. And there's also power in discovering where you want to head next. In that chapter, it expressed so much about how we should view our past in terms of how we should shape our future. The final several chapters about how every single one of us, we should do our work to face the future. 10 minutes is definitely not enough to summarize this book. It's as if someone has prepared a cup of hot tea for you in the winter. It's as if someone who has lightened up the whole room for you in the dark. It's as good as the conversation you will have with your therapist. And after all, like the name suggests, this book carries its own light and keep lighting up more hearts and souls in need. I do hope that this video gives you a little bit of light. If you can only read one book this year, put this on your list. That's the end of this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Put a comment down below what kind of other content or what kind of books that you're reading. Let me know your thoughts, and I really appreciate everybody who has ever watched any of the videos from this channel, that you're paying just a little bit of attention. And let's carry the lights forward. See each other next time.